You're gonna lose money in Vietnam if you don't know the best way to pay for things, but I've already tested out all the different payment methods and lost hundreds in the process, so you don't have to. So let me walk you through the 3 main ways to pay: card, cash, and QR payments. For card, I'll talk about when and where you can use it and the best one to use. For cash, I'll be ranking the best ways to get cash. Then I'll rank all the different QR code payment methods. This is literally the ultimate guide to paying in Vietnam. And it's so chaotic outside right now. I'm pretty sure there's kids in the background photobombing, and then there's like the cars. Can you even hear me?
And if you're new here, hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a Vietnamese-born Australian, and I'm partially based in Vietnam now. And I've been back and forth like 20 times over the last 3 years. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So for this video, I'm testing out every single payment method all in one day, just so the rates are consistent so we can do a proper comparison.
This is Boots on the Ground Journalism in the rain. Let's go.
This is episode 1 of Vietnam Unpacked, a series where I'm unpacking everything you need to know before you go to Vietnam. And let's get into it.
First, let's talk about paying with card in Vietnam. So a lot of people have this misconception that card is useless in Vietnam, but that's not the case anymore, because more and more places are starting to accept card. But still, not all places accept card. But let me tell you the main places that you can use it. Pretty much every time I've gone shopping for clothes, they have this little card reader, and it's really convenient because shopping in Vietnam is absolutely crazy. For restaurants and cafes, usually the nicer ones will accept card. As a general rule of thumb, if they have AC, they probably will accept card. Third, you need a card for rideshare and to get some cheeky late night supper. I recommend using Grab since you get both in one, and I think it's the most value. Not many people know this hack, but you can get like crazy discounts. Okay, so what you do, make sure you get the Grab Unlimited subscription, pair that with a Grab Travel Pass, so then you can stack up the discounts. Basically, car rides will work out to be half the user rate, which is already pretty low for Western standards. But don't worry, because the drivers still get the same amount. Drugstores and convenience stores will also accept card, which is really great because I was able to put together a heat relief care package to give out to people who are working really hard out in the sun. In here, I've got some cooling body mist from Japan. I bought some ice cold body wipes from here. Of course, an ice cold electrolyte drink. So let's go and give these out. Tặng cho chú mấy cái đồ giờ xịt cho nó mát vậy đó. Con xịt thử này. Vậy đó. Vậy nó mát. Oh, I was so nervous, but it was so nice. Found a lady selling flowers right by the temple. The flower auntie was really thankful and said that she'd give it to her grandkids to use. But then she told me that business has been rough and that she's really hungry. So I gave her some money for lunch. Then she gave me a little gift, then immediately zoomed across the busy street to grab some lunch. And I'm really hoping she got a big lunch to fill her stomach. Next, I want to give one to a street vendor since they're always working hard in the heat. So I went to my favorite pho spot. John. Tặng cho em một xíu quà.
Cảm ơn em nha. Có dịp về Việt Nam để ủng hộ anh.
Dạ, bữa nào em qua rồi. Dạ, cảm ơn nhiều đấy.
Nhiều sức khỏe nha.
Dạ, cảm ơn. Dạ, chào anh. And I pay for it all with my favorite card right now, U-Trip. And I've been using them for the past 8 months since their launch in Australia. And that's why I was so happy when they reached out to me wanting to sponsor this video, because it's just an amazing product. But let me actually give you the facts why they just beat out every other card. Okay, so the U-Trip card has no foreign exchange fees at the mid-market exchange rate. And the majority of the time, that will beat out the MasterCard and the Visa rate. And the cherry on top is that they give you 2% cash back on international transactions for your first 5 months. It's also great for withdrawing cash in Vietnam, which is a must, but more on that later. So if you want to sign up for U-Trip, you can find the link in my description with a $10 bonus too. But now, if you want to pay like a local, then make sure you get on the QR code payments. You can pay for things just by scanning a local vendor's QR code. And it's actually a game changer because now you don't have to carry so much cash. For locals, they pay straight out of the bank account. But as a tourist, how do you actually do this? Don't worry, because I already tested out the 3 main ways, so let me rank them. And number 3 is using Wise. What you do, you take a photo of this, take a photo of that, send, and then I'm gonna click photo, and then I'm gonna upload. It takes a while to process, so let's just wait on it. And then you get like the recipient's details all filled in. It's basically gonna be an international bank transfer, so you're gonna be paying fees for that. It's also kind of fiddly to do, so I'd only use this as a last resort. And number 2 is using a dedicated QR code app made for foreigners. I tested out the most popular one, which is Moretta Pay, and it's quite easy to use. You just add money to your account. So I just deposited 50, so let's actually try and pay using this. So we got the QR code here, and then we're gonna click the pay button. We're gonna scan it. Also, the thing with this one is there's a deposit fee of 1.5%, and then there's also another fee of 1.5%. Slide to pay. That's it. So the reason that I put it at number 2 is that the fees are quite high compared to number 1, which is basically no fee. And the absolute best way to use QR codes is to set up a Vietnamese bank account. And yes, you can do it as a tourist at select banks. but be careful which one you actually sign up with, because my friends signed up with Techcom Bank and they could send money but they couldn't receive it. So instead, my recommendation is to use Timo. The only issue is that you do have to go in the store and set it up, so it's not really worth it if you're only here for a short trip. But if you're staying here for a couple months or longer, then it's definitely worth setting one up. And to do that, just go into one of the Timo stores and bring your passport and visa. But the downside to this is that your account is only valid for the length of your visa, and after that you have to go into a BV Bank or Timo store to renew it. But now that you set up your account, how do you actually get money into your account? You basically have to do an international bank transfer. There's a lot of apps available for that, but they're not all the same. I tested Wise, Remitly, Western Union, but the best one I found so far is TapTapSend. They have no transfer fees at a really good exchange rate, whereas these other platforms have these fees. By the way, this app is also useful if you want to send money to someone in Vietnam. My parents and I use it all the time to send money to my grandparents. And in my personal experience, the money just goes into the account within a few seconds. So now that you got some dom on your account, here's how you actually use the QR code. At most restaurants, they should have this QR code that you can use. So in Timo, you can scan QR code 438, type it in, OTP, nhận được. So you find that the majority of places in the main cities do accept QR codes, even the street vendors. But I have had trouble in more rural places like my hometown, especially if the shops are run by elderly. And in that situation, I didn't have any cash, but they were kind enough to give me a small loan of 10,000 dong. So I didn't go home thirsty without my roll man. But you can't always do that, so that's why you should always have cash in hand. Where to go? Oh God. So cash is still king. It's just guaranteed to work everywhere. But what's the best way to get some cash out in Vietnam these days? Here's a ranking based on what gave me the most dong for my AUD. So this next way to get cash out, most people don't know about. But if you're ever in a pickle and need cash where you don't have a card or have other currency to exchange to, then you can use Western Union. So basically you just need to get the Western Union app and you can send money from your bank account to a Western Union location and pick it up as cash. Make sure you look out for these Western Union signs, but this method does have two major cons. I did not expect that to take like 40 minutes because you have to like go in and like sign so many things. They had to get my local address. It just like was so much back and forth, but I don't know, maybe I was just unlucky. The second downside is that the exchange rate for this method is worse than the usual one, 19.1, but if you do cash pickup, it's 18.8. So I only use this if you're really in an emergency and need cash. Now the next best method to get cash is by withdrawing from an ATM, but don't just withdraw from any bank because there's actually one bank that still does fee-free withdrawals. Now as of July 13th, when I tested it out, VP Bank still has no withdrawal fees for international cards. But this is subject to change at any time because when I asked a staff member 2 months ago, they said that they were introducing a fee for international cards. But so far nothing has happened, so make use of it while you can. But make sure you use a card that has fee-free withdrawals. The YouTube card I recommended before has free withdrawals for up to $1,500 a month. And that's way more than enough for Vietnam, especially when you can use card and QR code as well. Now the best way to get cash is to exchange it at a gold shop or money exchange. People say that you can't exchange money at gold shops anymore, but I just did. There's an official law that's banning gold shops from foreign exchange. But a lot of these gold shops now are backed by proper banks, so it's just business as usual. But which one is the best? I actually tested out 4 different exchanges in one day in Ho Chi Minh City. But honestly, the results varied based on the currency. I also checked the airport currency exchanges, and surprisingly, the rates weren't that bad at all. It was just a little bit lower than like outside. So this is a ranking of the exchanges based on AUD. But just keep in mind, this is all based on one day, so it might change depending on the day. Now, if you're going to Da Nang, my local friend recommended this shop, and the rates actually beat the Google rate a year ago. And for Hanoi, I've consistently got a better rate at this shop than Google. But keep in mind, this was before the new law was introduced, so I need to go back and test these out. And I'll make sure to update you in the comments. So before you exchange money at a money exchange, here's some tips. So make sure you bring like the highest denomination possible, and also make sure that it's the newest note. Make sure there's no chips or cracks, because either not accepted at all or give you a worse rate. So that's it on how to get the most bang for your buck in Vietnam. Let me know if you have any questions, and stay tuned for the next episode of Vietnam Unpacked, where I'll be unpacking my secrets to making sure you don't get food poisoning in Vietnam.